Hi, welcome to Ingesknittinglab along and this knit along series on how to do the Lacy Cable tee. In this episode we will get familiar with the stitch pattern while doing the gauge swatch. We will also get familiar with my sort of pattern lingo here, and in a second we will do the pattern together, and you will see here the stitch pattern chart and also the written out instructions. So before we get started, let's just have an overview. We cast on 37 stitches, which gives us 9 stripes here. I call these ones stripes. So this is a lacy cable stripe and a tree trunk stripe. So you see the lacy cable here and the tree trunk stripe. And the stripes here at the edges I call edge stripes. And this pattern is a repeat of 8 stitches, one of each stripe. So 1, 2, 3 repeats and 1 extra stripe here. And this is included to provide symmetry also in the tee pattern. The pattern is a repeat of 4 rows, SPR1 to SPR4, and these 4 rows will provide what I call a vertical lacy cable repeat, and in this swatch we will make 8. So you will hear me quite so often in the pattern count in stripes and in lacy cables, which is easier than counting in stitches and rows sometimes. Let's get to it. I will now cast on the 37 stitches using my Prim plastic needles, 4mm, and this is a US 6, and they have these nice knobs here so that when you knit with it, it doesn't tend to split that much as if you would have a very pointy needle. Whether or not you are doing the mohair edition or the plant fiber or linen edition, it's the same thing. So this episode applies to both editions. So I will, in this instance, use this plant fiber yarn. You can use many different types. We will cover yarn alternatives in another episode. So I will just now cast on the 37 stitches using the simple long tail cast on, and we will meet when I start the wrong side doing the first setup row. The setup round here on the wrong side is an SPR4 row, and this is what I call a tree trunk row, because on the wrong side you do 3 pearls, 1 knit, 3 pearls, 1 knit, and so on. So I have just worked the first 4 pearls here, being the edge stripe, looking like knit stitches from the right side. Then I do 1 knit stitch, and now 3 pearls, 1 knit, 3 pearls, 1 knit, and then the 4 pearl stitches here in the end. So I will finalize and we will meet on the first stitch pattern row here on the right side, being SPR1. I call this first stitch pattern repeat row on the right side for the pass over row, because here we will make this passing over of 2 knitted stitches. I call this stitch pattern repeat row 1 here on the right side for the pass over row. I have just knitted the 4 edge stitches, so now I need to purl 1, slip 1 knitwise, knit 2, and pass over the slip stitch over the 2 knitted stitches, and then do a simple tree trunk stripe here, purl 1, knit 3. So I purl 1, I slip 1 stitch knitwise, I knit 2, and I pass over the slip stitch. So now you can see I have this strand going across here. I purl 1 and knit 3. So now I have done, besides the edge stripe, a lacy cable stripe and a tree trunk stripe here, so 8 stitches. So now I need to do 2 more repeats and then do a lacy cable stripe before the edge stripe. So let me just show you this pass over row once more. I slip 1 stitch knitwise, knit 2, pass over the slipped stitch, purl 1 and knit 3. I will finalize this row and we will meet for SPR2 on the wrong side. The stitch pattern repeat 2 row I call the yarn over row, because here we will provide this hole in the stitch pattern where we do a yarn over. So I have just worked the 4 purl stitches of the edge and the knit stitch. So now I'm here, I will do purl 1, yarn over, purl 1. So I purl the first stitch, a yarn over with the yarn in the front like this, leaning to the left, and then a purl stitch, a knit stitch, and now I'm here at the simple tree trunk stripe, so just 3 purls, 1 knit, and I do it once again. So purl 1, yarn over, purl 1, purl 1, yarn over, purl 1, and then I just do the 3 repeats and remember the extra one in the end here before the edge stripes. So let's meet when I have finalized this row. I call the stitch pattern repeat row 3 for the tree trunk row, because here it is purl 1, knit 3, purl 1, knit 3. So this is a very simple row. So yeah, just work the yarn over stitch and just the knits and the purls. So we will soon get to the final row of the stitch pattern repeat, which is row 4. So I'll just do this. So I'm now ready to do the final row here, SPR4, also being a tree trunk row, but here on the wrong side I will do knit 1, purl 3, knit 1, purl 3, and so on. So let's meet when I have done row 4 here. Yeah, so here we are, ready to do yet another SPR1 row, starting over with the passover row here. So we will provide yet another full looking cable repeat, but this is what I call one vertical cable repeat here. Yes, so with regards to my pattern lingo, let's have a look at this here. I will try to zoom in for you. So this is not for the full swatch, but only for the stitch chart here. But it's in order for you to get familiar with my pattern lingo here. Because in row 1, being the passover row, we had this repeat and the extra one. So knit 4, and I call SPR1, which is these 8 stitches, then LC1 for this extra one, the purl 1, and the knit 4. In order to shorten this description, I just write knit 4 SPR1, LC1, purl 1, knit 4. On row 2, which is the yarn over row, I will again shorten this passage of stitches so that I only knit the purl 4 for the edge stitches, knit 1, the SPR2, which is these 8 stitches, LC2, this one, and purl 4. And I think you see the drill here. So That is what I do. And later on in the pattern, I will also shorten out this extra stripe here, because once you get into the groove of the pattern, so to speak, you get familiar with the stitch pattern, and then I just write do SPR1 or do SPR2. Then you know that of course you do the repeat of the 8, but you have one extra in the end to take care of. Yeah, this was the stitch pattern. So let's meet up in next episode, where we have finalized the 8 cable repeats, and I will show you how to add the I-cord edge here, and also explain why it is important to do it already while swatching, because this will give us some information when doing the tee. So see you later for doing I-cords.